As you are aware, the Electoral Commission has been preparing and rolling out a roadmap for the 2026 elections. And part of the building blocks of a credible election is a register. Since Friday, it was announced that the display of the register will be done countrywide, and it has the publicity required for the full engagement and participation of the citizens. This register is going side by side with the NRM exercise, just in case you missed it. The NRM has chosen a timing together with the National Electoral Commission to do their activities simultaneously, the purpose of which is not lost to us. So as the Electoral Commission is displaying the register, the NRM is doing likewise. And so it is said to confuse the public that NRM is the same as the Electoral Commission. And the Electoral Commission is doing this in spite of all the requirements and requests through court and through Parliament to have a transparent, independent exercise for all the country to benefit from a credible election. As it looks now, that is not the preoccupation of the Electoral Commission. And so we are asking the public, the citizens of this country, to do their civic duty and pay attention to the exercise of the display of the register. You will find that many young people are being excluded as a voting cohort, and this is also deliberate because they are the very people that are hungry for change. And so for anybody that is hungry to have a fight for freedom and change, the change that we so badly deserve and demand, please go on and do the registration verification. You will wonder why we stand here and ask for that. Because we do not believe that we have an independent electoral commission. We also don't believe that it has the capability and the capacity to deliver an election as required in the Constitution. But 2026, this election will be used as a weapon. And so, as we sharpen our fighting effort, the country must be reminded that this process is very important. The failure of democracy is concerning. You are aware that the opposition leader, Tundu Lissu of Tanzania, Chadema, has been arrested and his party has been stopped from participating in the elections. It's quite surprising for Tanzania, the country of Mwalimu Nyerere, and that is being led by a woman president, who you should have expected to be different in style, but is proving to be worse than everybody else. We are very concerned about Tanzania, which we used to look upon as a country that meets its democratic obligations and which hosts the East African community. It is sad that as a host of the East African community, the aspirations of the East African region, it too has fallen prey to dictatorship. and female dictatorship. It will be of interest to scholars to compare female dictatorship and male dictatorship in the East Africa. We are equally concerned about the happenings, the political happenings in Southern Sudan, a country that has fought for so long to have self-rule. And what has it done with self-rule? It has condemned itself to the vagaries of dictatorship. And as we speak, Dr. Machar is under house arrest. We have been made to understand that the leader of the region had actually recommended that he be arrested and put in jail the way retired Colonel Dr. Kiza Besigye is doing. But they are still holding back. So the template of dictatorship is growing around the region. You also can see what is happening in DRC and what is happening in Kenya. We would like to ask the African Union and this the East African to offer leadership, governance, to offer leadership for the security of the region. You will also recall that the African Union had one of its goals as silencing the guns. Because when you don't silence the guns, you generate more refugees. And looks like this East African region, the biggest product of refugees, is continuing to offer no solution, no political solution to the things that are happening in the region. In the same vein, you will be interested to look at the rule of law and the rule by law that we are all experiencing, particularly in the registration of parties. We have been made aware that the People's Front for Freedom, PFF, is yet to be registered. And the foot dragging is characteristic of the Electoral Commission. It is our hope and prayer that by next week, at the beginning of May, the Electoral Commission will have found it fitting to deliver a democratic baby to the nation of Uganda, because the country is waiting. A region that has been ruled by guns for so long. It is guns that brought this regime. It is guns that took Rwanda. It is guns that took Burundi. It is guns that are ruling in Congo. It is guns that in Sudan, Southern Sudan as well, and it is still guns being introduced in the Kenyan politics. As democracy takes a back foot, the rise of militarism needs to be condemned. For Uganda's particular case, suffice it to say that the squandered revolution of 1986 is crying for redemption. And that if truly 1996 was about freeing the political space and making democracy matter,